Hi, everybody. Claudia McMullen from Hugo Coffee Roasters here and Hugo's Human. As you know, we are a roasting company with a mission to save animals, and we do this by partnering every week with a particular rescue organization around the country. And we do an online, week-long, weekly fundraiser whereby we donate $2.50 for every single item sold on the website during the course of that week. So today we're here with our local, yay, animal rescue partner of the week, and that's the Utah Animal Adoption Center. And we're here with the lovely Rose. Hi, Rose.
Hi, Claudia. Thank you for having me, and thank you for this amazing work you do, considering, as you know, most of these nonprofits in the area are individually funded. So it takes, local donors like you to really help support the great work of saving them all.
Yes, 100%, which is exactly why we pick the rescues that we do to help, which is because, as you probably know, I used to run Nuzzles and Company in a former life. So I know that the animal world is actually, the welfare work is done by the thousands of small organizations like your own that are dotting this country. So we want to help you because we want to help animals.
Yes. Well, thank you again, Claudia. I'm excited to be here
Sure.
and share some of my experiences with Utah Animal Adoption Center and all the amazing work we do.
Great. So let's talk about Utah Animal Adoption Center. First of all, what are you? How long you've been around? What's your region? What's your geographic scope? Just give us a little rundown on your great organization.
You bet. Well, what is so exciting, and it's one of the reasons we wanted to partner with you in this month, is that we hit our 40 years of rescuing and doing all the amazing life-saving work we do this year, which is so exciting. Yes.
That's awesome. That's amazing. 40 years. That's fantastic.
Yes, that means we've saved over 40,000 animals because on average we save, 2 animals through rescue and placement per day, which is
wonderful.
Such a contribution that we're able to give, and like partners like you that allow us to do it and continue to do this amazing work. So yes, we've been around for nearly 40 years, just now 40 years. We have a very exciting opportunity to do a lot of what we do through the education, the spaying and neutering, and most importantly, and even some of the reason that we've kind of evolved our mission through the pandemic and through COVID is so that we could start supporting more low cost spay and neuter, specifically for a lot of our community partners. So we are out there doing everything we can to support the community, the rescue community, and then of course, find forever homes for all these amazing animals to ensure they have the best and the brightest future ahead of them.
That's great. Now, I think we've talked about this, but we need to always scream from the rooftops the importance and the multiplier impact of spay neuter programs. Like when you spay and neuter one animal, you are saving hundreds of animals. I mean, maybe not hundreds, but you're saving, X-fold of animals from being born unwanted and potentially abused and neglected.
Yeah, I don't think you're overstating it by saying hundreds either. Because if you think about one mama having 6 litters and then one other litter having 6, all of a sudden the magnitude, it gets where we are today, where we're just, trying to make sure we can stay ahead of it and save all these animals.
So not only are you finding 2 animals a day, their forever homes, you're saving countless thousands of animals from ever being unwanted and born unwanted, that's where finding forever homes is fantastic, of course, but the impact is in spaying and neutering and education.
Completely. Yep.
And so tell me about your community partners. So when you help these community partners with your spay neuter program, who are you referring to?
Sure. So if you think about what happened during the pandemic, right? A lot of private vet suites, vet clinics, they became overloaded. There's more animals than we can all support. We're seeing just a real change in the dynamic of animal welfare right now. You hear of all of the large organizations speaking of it. And then, of course, we on the front lines, as you mentioned earlier, being those small and mighty ones, are really there helping those community partners. So those are all the local shelters. Yep. Those are even some of the county shelters. Those are specifically, if you think about even just other animal rescue groups. Right? There's ones just like us that are like, we've got the spay and neuters that we need help support with, but we can't afford $400 or $500 to do this litter. We can do it much more cost effective for them, and we can put them on payment plans. We can support them, which at the end of the day supports the animal in need most importantly, and allows them to get into those forever homes faster to be able to support their long-term welfare.
So you have an actual medical suite. You have a vet on staff?
We do.
And you have a medical suite. Like we had one up at the ranch at Nuzzles, and it was fantastic when we got the equipment to spay and neuter on site. So you have it on site, and then you reach out to the community partners to help them as well.
Correct. So, I mean, we've been around, as I mentioned, 40 years, and we started a lot of that legacy up out of North Salt Lake. We have since moved to Sandy City, so we could be more centrally located to support a lot of these community partners that we work so closely with. So during the pandemic, we saw, as I mentioned, the evolution of just the need of these community partners. So we became more centrally located for them. And yes, in North Redwood Road, we also had a vet suite and a clinic. We've moved that facility to Sandy City. So we became very centrally located, and we're able to help a lot of these community partners and continue that life-saving work as we've been mentioning, but owning still that mission through amazing vet services that we can provide. I do truly believe it's a differentiator for us because we have a facility still. We have the vet on staff. We do vet clinics. We do spay and neuter clinics. And as you mentioned, that's really cutting it off at the source, because we're all trying to support, right, the animals and get them adopted. But really, how do we ensure that we're not being part of the problem and really impacting the solution?
100%. So now, with respect to the animals that you are adopting, finding forever homes for, you are getting those animals from shelters? You're pulling them from the shelters?
Yes. So we used to do a lot of that. We see more now of individuals and people that have just, taken on an animal and can't continue to work with the animal, especially when people are now, as you can see out there in the world, that people are being asked to come into the office more, and it's putting a strain on families and those individuals that at the time of the pandemic maybe rescued, maybe fostered, or even adopted an animal, are now seeking help, and we're, stepping in to help. So we used to be more pulling from shelters. Now we're almost like, let's make sure it doesn't even hit the shelter, right? Because before that's where their first line of defense was. And now they're coming to us to say like, hey, can we work with you to get this animal adopted out? What that gives us, Claudia, too, is the power to keep the animal in the home as long as possible. So we're like, hey, you now have become a foster for us, and
your own dog, right?
Your animal, exactly. And then we can use all of our network community, our posters, our pages to promote the animal for adoption without necessarily having to create the strain on the shelters, as well as create the strain on ourselves to be able to
and the strain on the animal.
And the animal, exactly. And the animal, because then it's not being transported too frequently.
Right. And not being, you're preventing a traumatic experience from happening to the animal. Rehoming itself is traumatic. I'm sure if an animal finds itself on day 1 at their home and on day 2 at a new home, but at least they haven't gone through the shelter system and been traumatized by that system.
Absolutely. Yep.
And the idea of converting animal, surrenders to fosters is brilliant.
Yeah. This is the biggest side of the program that, frankly, if I could make a plea to everyone that's listening, is yes, of course, support this fundraiser, support Hugo Coffee and the amazing work that they do to be able to support us. But also we need fosters. So if you've ever thought about being a foster, or you are thinking, maybe I could, or what does that even entail? Very simply, just email us at info@utahanimalz.org. We would love to talk more about being a foster, because this is what it really allows them, the work that we're doing to just be multiplied in a different way. And we all know, Claudia, how much better an animal behaves and even looks in a home compared to you throwing it into a shelter. They're scared, they're terrified, they're not the best animal they can be. So fosters really help us. So a plea for fosters, if you've ever thought about it, because that, to your point, really helps us be able to continue the work we're doing.
Yes, and it really helps mitigate the impact on the animal.
So much. Which
is fantastic. Now, do you also have a brick and mortar facility for housing animals?
So we do. We actually do. So in Sandy City, so the Redwood property was much larger. So we did downsize a little bit to ensure we could be within a city limit, which means we're housing only about 40 to 50 animals now at any given time, which is still amazing. Before we were around like 70. So it's not crazy different numbers, but it allows us to kind of focus a little bit and still keep that vet suite moving.
Right. And you have a robust foster network.
It's true. Yep. Absolutely.
So have you seen an impact on your numbers since the move to Sandy City with respect to adoptions, or has it remained consistent?
It's consistent. It has just evolved. I think all of us had to reinvent ourselves and evolve through the pandemic. And in many ways, like I said, we did it through the the impact we can do through the vet suite, the spay and neutering, the adoption program, the education, all that stuff. We just evolved and became it just looked a little different, but we still have been able to do all the amazing life-saving work we have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that, of course, as you know, comes from the need of a lot of our grants, where they're like, hey, this is where we fund and this is what we need you to do for the community. And we're like, well, if you fund it, we'll do it.
We'll do it, right.
We'll do it. So we've been able to maintain a lot of the work so far.
That is, I mean, honestly, your organization just ticks all the boxes.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate
that.
It
Really just ticks all the damn boxes between, the spay neuter clinics, the spay neuter on site, the medical suite, the access to veterinary care, a robust foster network, and converting owner surrenders into fosters for the time period while you're trying to find their forever home. And then also having a brick and mortar place for the animals to stay. I mean, you got it all. You got it all going on, Rose.
We could all do more, though. I want to do more, Claudia. How do we do more?
Of course. So now let's talk a little bit about. Let's make sure your fan base, because I know you have a big one. We do too, but our fan base kind of knows the jig here. So we have, we do these fundraisers. Now the key thing is that the fundraiser is a week-long fundraiser online, and we donate $2.50 for every item sold on the website. So you buy a 6-pack of coffee, 6 times 2.5. There you go. There's the donation for that one purchase. We have on the website, if you don't drink coffee, not to worry. We have beautiful mugs. We have swag. We have dog toys. We have all kinds of things. So there's something for everybody on the website. But if you drink coffee, the coffee is really good. Really damn good. Really good. We always say, when I'm doing my pitches to various people, I say, what we know is people buy our coffee because of our mission, but they buy it again and again because it's fantastic coffee. So spread the word, Rose, because we have about 2.5 more days, 2.5, 3 days left of the fundraiser. And we want to sell, because I want to write you a big old check on Monday morning.
I want that too. We'll do it. We'll sell.
Sell. And then here's the big question. So say we did a great job and we could raise between $300 and $500. What kind of impact would that have on your organization?
Yes. So as you mentioned at the beginning, we have quite the reach for how small and how mighty we are. And so for us, $300 or $400 goes a long way. Our vet suite alone, just to run it for one day, which in essence can rescue and probably spay and neuter anywhere between 20 to 30 animals, it's $1,200 for the day. Yes. So if you think about that, just a quarter of the day gets you the ability. I mean, you're spaying and neutering a lot of animals. We're also, if you think about the staff and the support that we need, that also funds the staff and team for almost 3 days. So it's a lot for us. We are a small organization and every dollar counts. I even joke, at $5, $10, that matters to us. Not all organizations I appreciate probably matters to, but for us, that really matters. So $300 or $400 is a phenomenal donation and will go a long way for us and do a lot of amazing things for the animals.
All right. So let's get the word out, Rose.
Yes.
To get the word out, spread the love, to buy so that we can fund spays and neuters at your amazing spay and neuter clinic.
Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to get the word out. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to bring up, couple things. One, if you buy Betty's Brew, that's in honor of Betty White.
Okay.
Betty's Brew is a $5. I double the donation if you buy Betty's Brew or a Betty's Brew pack, because we have these gift packs where you can get a mug and Betty's Brew. And I double the donation for Betty's Brew. And by the way, it's like a medium roast, so it's very broadly appealing and fantastic coffee. So there's that. And then the other thing is, I just wanted to let you know that we're working on an affiliate program down the road, whereby we can do this going forward into infinity, where we give you a shortened URL for you to send to your fan base, and then we will always donate $2.50 to you for every item sold or purchased by your fan base.
Oh,
I know.
Look at you. Speaking of doing big and mighty things, amazing. Very exciting.
Yes. All right. Now, Rose, we're going to get the word out. We're going to sell. I'm going to write you a big old check on Monday.
I love it. Let's do it.
All right.
Sell.
All right. You have a great weekend.
You too, Claudia. Thank you for all all amazing work and for us having this opportunity. We're very grateful.
That's what we live for.
All right. Well, thank you.